Hi guys, my name is Dami, a team member of DeAltar, and you're welcome to another episode of The Voice. Now, today I'll be talking about something very important but usually often neglected: your mental health. Yes, mental health. Now, usually when this comes up, the assumption is that it's always about one mental illness or the other, but that's not true. Just as when physical health is mentioned, it doesn't just mean it's about a health disease or some type of diagnosis. Now, what exactly is mental health? What do we mean when we say take good care of your mental health? Does taking care of your mental health mean you have a mental illness? These and more are the questions that will be addressed in today's podcast. Now, mental health can be defined as a person's condition with regards to their psychological and emotional well-being. Need I say it affects how we think, how we feel, how we act, and so much more. Mental illness, on the other hand, refers to health conditions involving change in thinking, emotions, or behavior. Now, knowing what mental health is and how important it is, how can you as an individual, and not necessarily a health practitioner, take good care of your mental health? I'll be addressing this in two categories. First, how to regularly take care of your mental health and things to do at the moment when your mental health doesn't feel so great. Now, two things to note before proceeding, however. I am not in any way a professional, and I'll only be sharing things I've found helpful in my own life and also from those around me. Also, some of the points from both categories might overlap and are interrelated, but it's all good. Now, diving right into it, what are some of the things you can do to regularly take care of your mental health? 1. Speak positive things about yourself. Now, I know this might sound super cringy and super cheesy, but you also might be wondering, what has this got to do with the topic at hand? But I found that speaking positive things to yourself has so much impact on mental health than you think. It helps build a healthy self-esteem. Next, stay away from negativity. Discard negative relationships with people that pull you down or just plainly speak negative things to and about you. Do away with any form of negative vibe. Trust me, this will do you so much good. Also, have a good community. We weren't created to live life alone, and in a bid to be independent, sometimes we find ourselves pushing away good friends. We shouldn't be so. It's okay to have a healthy community of people to rely on when needed. Also, I'd say eat and rest well. To be honest, I feel like I'm not so great at this either, especially with eating junks and not drinking enough water, and I could go on and on. But still, eating well is super important and really helpful to help maintain a healthy mental state. And same goes for resting, having a proper sleep schedule and all that good stuff. Now, what happens when it's at the moment type of thing? We all have our not so great days sometimes, and this takes me back to the day I had my first and hopefully last panic attack. It was definitely not an exciting experience, I tell you. Now, it might sound funny and even stupid now, but trust me when I say it was quite serious when it happened. So right now I'm a second year student studying biology, and it was sometime during the middle of my last semester. I had taken a test in a class which was quite tough a few days earlier, and now the results were out and I calculated my grade and it did not look good. Now after that, I decided to cheer myself up by watching the recently released episode of one of my favorite shows ever, The Flash. Yes. Now it turns out this was a really sad episode too, and one of the main characters died. Now the heaviness from my failed test, the emotion from the show, and all other underlying feelings from just stress and a bunch of other things came crashing down. And the next thing, I'm feeling this swelling in my chest and I'm finding it difficult to breathe. Then came the waterworks. I hurriedly ran into the restroom and just locked myself in for some minutes. Now, those were honestly one of the worst minutes of my life. Now, I didn't know what was going on. All I knew was that I couldn't breathe well and I couldn't stop crying. I pretty much had to start chanting to myself, okay, calm down, you'll be fine, this is gonna pass. All of this just as an attempt to calm down. And this went on and on. I just reminded myself that I'll be fine and it was okay to cry. And it was much later I realized I had just had a panic attack. Now, the funniest part of it all was that I calculated my grades wrong. I thought I had failed the test, but turns out I didn't. Now, what's my main point now? In moments when you don't feel so great, like mentally and emotionally, remember it's okay to feel that way. It's just not okay when you dwell in those dark emotions and those dark feelings. Now, what do? Take a break. It's okay to step away from the situations, whatever it is that's causing this imbalance, that's causing these negative emotions. It's okay to step away from it. Also, talk to people if you have to. If you have to talk to a professional, go for it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Now, this is an example of where the importance of having good community comes in. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast, and I'm super grateful for your time. Thank you for joining me, and see you next time. Bye.